It is the 14th of October, 1066, and William the Conqueror marches his Norman army to reclaim a throne he believes is rightfully his. But standing in his way is an army of Anglo-Saxons, led by Harold Godwinson, king of the Anglo-Saxons. What's up, guys? It's Apollo, and we are here with a recreation of the Battle of Hastings. This has to be one of my favorite battles in history. I really don't know why. I really can't explain why this is one of my favorite battles. I just remember the first time learning about it, I was hooked and I couldn't stop researching and looking up, info about it and just everything about it. It was just, kept me at the edge of my seat. And I don't know, it was one of the battles that really got me into history. So we're gonna do some slow motion here, of course, talk about what's going on. So this has to be one of the most accurate recreations of the Battle of Hastings I've ever seen. Not only does the map have a nice hill that the Normans have to attack, but they also use mods to make the units more realistic and make the shield wall combat a little bit more realistic. And the sizes of these armies are fairly, I assume, fairly close to maybe a little smaller to the actual size of the battle. So yeah, it's awesome. I mean, this is just really cool. This is a battle created by Cassius, which we've seen many of his historical recreations. He really outdid himself this time. I'm really excited to see how this is gonna play out. And they are even playing historically tactically in mind, I guess you could say, where of course the Anglo-Saxons are holding on to the hill and the Normans are gonna rely on their crossbows and their cav to try to win the day. So really quick, just looking at the there's technically two armies each side. So we have two Anglo-Saxons and then two Norman armies ready to attack. So it's going to be really awesome. It looks like the forces are getting very close and we are already in a skirmish fight. We have some militia fjord archers letting loose some arrows while the crossbows answer back. The Anglo-Saxons push up their fjord axemen, trying to probably force an engagement so the crossbows aren't as deadly. Try to silence the crossbows by making the infantry fight happen fairly quickly. And sure enough, yeah, the Anglo-Saxons are shifting their units and they're preparing to form a shield wall against the Normans. Now they do have a little nice flanking maneuver over here, so I wonder how this is going to play out for the Anglo-Saxons and what the Normans are going to do to respond to this little flank. So of course we know the story of the Battle of Hastings. It was a victory for William the Conqueror. He would later be crowned king on Christmas Day, 1066, and this was the crucial battle that they had to win to be able to, for William to take the crown. Now, so Harold Godwinson is one of the figures in history that I just feel so terrible for. This is quite the underdog story for the Anglo-Saxons. I mean, they are attacked from two different places at the same time, and Harold and the Anglo-Saxon army almost pulls it off. But of course we know that there was some confusion on the battlefield for the Normans. They thought William the Conqueror was dead, and there was kind of panic, but it kind of worked out where it was like almost, some people debate whether this was an actual tactic or this just happened by accident, but basically they thought William the Conqueror was dead and they fell back and there was a panic, and the Anglo-Saxons thought they were winning the battle, so they pursued them. And then, of course, that gave an opportunity for the Norman cav to run down the Saxon soldiers and turn the battle around. Of course, William the Conqueror, he showed his face. He's like, I'm not dead, keep fighting. It was quite the story. And, of course, Harold, here we go. Here comes the infantry, ready to clash. And this is the first infantry clash here of the Battle of Hastings. Of course, Harold Godwinson takes an arrow to the eye. A tragic story indeed for him. He is a hero of the Anglo-Saxons. He almost held off William the Conqueror. If they only just held their position on the hill, who knows how history would have changed. And that's one of the crazy things about the Battle of Hastings, is that it changed the world in so many different ways. Such a small engagement, relatively speaking, changed the outcome of the world. It's kind of like, you know, the butterfly effect. But what other battles do you guys think, like, maybe whether it be big or large, greatly changed the world and how we see it today? You know, some other battles that come to mind, you know, the Battle of Thermopylae, Hastings, of course. You also have, I mean, you can even say Bunker Hill was a possible one. So there's a lot out there. I just want to know what you guys think. Some crazy battles that really changed the outcome. Battle of Tours, that's another big one. The Chad Frenchman. But yeah, this fighting is pretty light for now, and you can see there is some breaking here on the flank. You can see the Norman Cav doing what they do best. Norman Knights running down some breaking units. But the Knights are getting shot with some arrows, so I don't think they're going to flirt around here for too long. They're going to go ahead and... Oh, wait, they're going to get a flank on the infantry. Should have saw that coming. So a huge flank on the infantry of the Anglo-Saxons. They need to secure their flanks. They can't let this cav run amok, and it looks like that's exactly what's happening here. They are certainly running oh yeah, they are certainly running amok here, and they are causing some very, very bad damage to the Anglo-Saxon army. The Normans are now going to run forward. Look at it, they're just like having a field day right now. Now thankfully we've got some infantry protecting the archers, so the cav's not going to be able to really hit the archers. And here comes another charge in the rear here of the cav. Or I'm sorry, charge in the rear of the infantry using the cav. So I do want to let you guys know, we are using some mods. I think I mentioned that in the beginning. But all the mods are linked down in the video description if you guys want to try them out too. There's a couple, like, it improves the battle mechanics. It adds some unit variety. Makes it a bit more interesting, so pretty cool stuff right there. So yeah, nice fight here. The Normans are not quite engaging their infantry. Look at this, pretty cool. Like, shift! Not quite engaging the Norman infantry with their infantry. They're kind of holding back. Back over on this side, back on the other side, there is a huge infantry brawl. And of course, we know the story of the Battle of Hastings, how the shield wall was so tightly packed together that when men died, they died standing up. That alone was mind-blowing. I don't know, that story alone just was like, wow. Like, how horrifying would that have to be? How just tragic, and feeling trapped, no way to run, no way to escape. Or maybe it makes you feel safer. You're like standing shoulder to shoulder with your brothers in arms. But it's just mind-blowing to think about that. Men dying standing. That's crazy. So a nice ferocious fight between the Normans and the Saxons. It's quite hard to tell who's who, and that is true. I mean, if you could travel back in time, I'm sure in the chaos of the swords clashing and the shields bashing, it would be kind of hard to tell who's who, as they are very similar cultures. Of course, the Normans are like a French Viking culture. Here we go. Here's some Royal Hussars holding back some Normans as well. They should be able to tear up these Norman foot soldiers. We got a nice fight going on over here as well. Norman foot soldiers, foot soldiers taking on the mailed spearmen. More. Look at this. Look at this. Trying to flank a little bit here. We got some Norman axemen going all the way to the red line, which is historically accurate. They had a red line. No, I'm just kidding. Obviously not. But the Normans are flanking around, and they're going to try to do some damage on the flank. So let's get a bird's eye view of this. Look at this. Look at the scale of this. See, I have a love-hate relationship with Thrones of Britannia. Oh, okay, sorry about that. I have a love-hate relationship with Thrones of Britannia, where it could have been so much more than what it was. I mean, I guess, well, I'm not going to say it, but yeah, it's just, I think that if they worked on the combat a little bit more, it could have been something really cool. Now, of course, I'm someone who plays mostly battles. I really enjoy the battles, so maybe I just have a biased opinion, but to me, I think working on battle mechanics is #1. You make history come to life when you do that. And, oh, nice archer fire. Look at that, really softening up the Norman infantry who are trying to advance on the Anglo-Saxons. And this is actually a pretty good idea from the Anglo-Saxons on this side. They had a weak line in the front, right? That was destroyed, but it's causing the Norman infantry to be a little bit more exhausted. They're taking more hits from the archers, and by the time they get to the next line, I don't know if they're going to have the stomach to fight. So we'll see how that plays out. Now, of course, there are a lot of Norman reserves, which will be a problem from the Anglo-Saxons. But it seems like this battle's coming down to be a battle of attrition. So we have more Norman knights kind of galloping up this hill to get a better view of the enemy. And whoa, they're like, oh, that's a lot of Anglo-Saxons. Look at that. Look at that. That's sick. Now it looks like they are they charging? Oh yeah, there's a lone. Look at this lone unit. These feared axemen fighting. They're surrounded, fighting to the bitter end. But that's gonna be the last of them. Well, that was a cool shot right there, having the infantry. Right? Oh, dude, yes. Look at that. Man, Thrones could have been something so much more. It is a lot better with mods though, for sure. All right, the Normans are sending up more infantry to the fight. They are reinforcing their lines. Let's go ahead and get rid of the HUD, get a nice cinematic view. Look at that. The shield wall combat never gets old. Again, we have another secondary line of troops in shield wall formation. Looks very awesome. The fighting's still very much intense. Over on the other side, it's still really too close to say who's going to take this one on this flank. It looks like the Anglo-Saxons, though, are doing a decent job of holding back the Normans. In fact, we even have some Normans who are breaking from the fight. Let's see. Are they doing a feint break? Are they going to try to get the Anglos to pursue them and break their formation? We'll find out. Also, I like the fact that there's 2 units in reserve just waiting for each other. You know, waiting for one to make a move. That's so awesome. Watching that flank, sitting as the rear guard, I guess you could say. Let's go back over kind of to this side of the battlefield where things have kind of calmed down over here relative to the other side. It was the first start of the battle, but now it's definitely calmed down. And I love the sound design in this game. Listen to this. You just hear the men yelling, and they do such a good job of creating a authentic, like, yell, I guess. I don't know. It's pretty awesome. But both sides are taking a breather here. Look at, they're forming shield wall over on the Norman side, protecting themselves from the Anglo-Saxon arrows. And then, what do we got here? We have the deadly crossbows. We have some Flemish crossbowmen who are moving up, ready to support the infantry, and I think they're gonna try to. They're gonna start aiming for some eyeballs here. Oh man, they're gonna try to soften up this shield wall. They will inflict some damage, but in a shield wall stance here, it's gonna be tough. Look at that, the arrows just hitting the shield. Look at that, so awesome. Oh my God, imagine holding that shield, just being like, oh, these crossbows are insanely deadly. How the fear, but the morale has to be high for the Anglo-Saxons as well, as they just not a couple days ago, right? I forgot the exact the date of the battle before this one, Stafford Bridge or whatnot. They won a battle against Viking scum before. The morale has to be high. It has to be high. They've got to feel confident. They're like, we can do this. But they also have to be very tired. All the marching. Oh, it's crazy. It's such an underdog story, and I wanted Harold to win. Every time. You ever read a history book and you know the outcome? You know, but you have your favorites, and you just want them to win. Even though you know how it plays out, you read it and you're like, come on, you can do it. You know, like Napoleon at Waterloo is like, you can win this. Or he's marching into Russia and it's like, no, leave Russia. Winter's coming. Oh man. And that's another, not to get off topic here, that's another, it's something I hear all the time from people like, oh, Napoleon didn't know winter was coming. No, he knew winter and he knew how harsh it was. It's just he assumed he was going to beat the campaign and defeat the Russians before winter. But unfortunately, you know, the scorched earth policy that Russia did made it a little bit more difficult. Anyways, besides the point. Yeah, great stand. Look at this. It's getting a little chaotic over here. The lines are starting to break a little bit in terms of order. Over on the, oh, wait. Look at this. We've got Cav that broke through. Look at this lad. Look at this lad right here. He's like, he's taking a breather. He's behind enemy lines. Oh, that's pretty sick. I don't know why he's just standing here. He's like, oh, what are you doing? Dude, come on, move. You're getting shot at. Oh man, come on Anglo-Saxons. I'm showing my bias, but I want the Anglos to win. By the way, look at this guy's still the Chad Norman. He's laughing at those archers, though his horse has been shot in the leg multiple times. But the Chad horse continues to stand. My God. Oh, what were you thinking? It's like he didn't want to live anymore. He was a paid Norman knight by the Anglo-Saxons. But I love the Cav in the mix over here too. Look at that. That's so cool. So they hold over here. The Normans are starting to break a little bit. They're starting. It's still really close, but it's looking pretty good. We do have a general right here. I assume this is Harold, the royal bodyguard, ready to reinforce depleting lines. Of course, Harold did fight with his men. So that's very Chad of him. We got another general over here with the royal bodyguard. And we have, let's check out the generals over here. We've got some Norman Huscarls. I assume one of the generals being William the Conqueror. And we actually have two generals that are fairly close over here. So there's one there, and then here's the other Norman general with another Norman Huscarl unit. So they're looking for a weak spot in the army, and it might be this gap right here that they're going for, or they're just rushing forward and trying to break this thin unit of Anglo-Saxons, which it looks like that's the case. Look at this charge. Ah! So a nice charge. That's going to be a problem for sure for the Anglo-Saxons. Those Huscarls can rip through shield walls. Now we have the general engaged. Look at that. Harold Godwinson in the thick of the fight with his bodyguard. Oh, how awesome. What a time. What a time. The Battle of Hastings like you've never seen it before. Nice front line as this continues to go on. The fighting is ruthless and the gain is small. The balance of power is still dead even between both forces. Will history change and the Anglo-Saxons take this one? Or will it repeat and William the Conqueror will be crowned king on Christmas Day? Oh, nice supporting archer fire. Let's see what kind of hits they're getting over here. They do kind of have an angle on the backs of the Normans here, a little bit, but it's still gonna be tough for these guys to get a lot of kills. Let's see all the way over here on the right flank. This like little flanking maneuver here by the Anglo-Saxons. Most of the troops have not fought yet, but there is a little bit of some troops engaged here. But I think pretty soon we're going to see a clash of swords and spears between the Anglos and the Normans on this flank. They're exchanging some words, I'm sure. Look at, you got troops in the back like jumping like, yeah, I'm gonna beat you up, bro. My dad could beat up your dad. What? I said. Oh man, the crossbows though trying to quiet down their cheers, but it doesn't seem to be working unless they're going for the units in the back, which it looks like they are. Look at the damage. Ooh, got to get into shield wall formation, protect your men, as the crossbows are going for weak, vulnerable units. All right, here's a bird's eye view. Look at this, the Battle of Hastings. Oof, so awesome. So the estimates for army size isn't like super. I mean, it varies and it depends on who you ask, but like the estimates range from like 7 to 12,000 for I believe William the Conqueror, and then it ranges from 5,000 to 13,000 for the Anglo-Saxon army. Now, of course, that's on Wikipedia, so take that with a grain of salt. But I'm curious how close this battle is to the actual size of the Battle of Hastings. Oh, look at this. A huge break, a huge gap in the lines of the Normans. And they're going to go ahead and push. The Anglo-Saxons are going to push and try to flank around and surround. But here's the challenge. If they turn their back to these crossbows to face the infantry engaging their other lines, these units are going to turn into Swiss cheese. They are going to be shot into pieces by the Flemish crossbowmen. So I think instead what they're going to do is keep chasing them down, which is really, it's got to be really frustrating for the Anglo-Saxon player because he's got an opportunity to flank, but he's afraid. He can't do it. Oh, and there's a cat. Look at this. The Norman knights behind the Anglo lines. And they are going to get more hammer and anvil. See, that's the plus on having cav. You know, that is the great thing about having cav, is that you don't have to worry about archers as much. Now, of course, cav can still get chopped up by archers, but they move more quickly, so it's harder target to hit. Got a little duel going on here. He's like, Norman scum! Like, hey, that was mean. Oh wait, now he's getting some help here. He's like, hey, don't double team me. Let's see if we can get him. No. Come on, get him. Dude, he's just standing there. Pathetic. Freaking pathetic. But the Normans are going to go for another hammer and anvil. Enemy general is dead. Oh no! The generals are fighting. How did I miss this? The generals were duking it out in the back lines, and William the Conqueror has killed. He has killed Harold Godwinson. Sorry, I had a brain fart there, but I was just thinking in my head, is this gonna cause a chain rout? And it is. Oh my God, a massive chain rout for the Anglo-Saxons as word is spreading that their king Harold Godwinson has been slain by William the Conqueror in his Huscarls. And the Cav also flanking on the flanking the rear, I guess. Attacking the rear doesn't exactly help. But news has not spread on the other parts of the battlefield as the Anglo-Saxons still fight on. Man, that was awesome. It's too bad I missed that. The general's going at it. That's cool. So far this is kind of playing out very similar to, I mean, not exactly similar to Hastings, but it's you know, the death of Godwinson, I'm sure, brought a lot of you know, a loss in morale. Look at these guys are kissing shields. They're so close. He's like, your king is dead. Oh, because it's French, right? Norman French. It's like, God, they are taking their sweet time in this battle. They're both exhausted. Oh! And the Anglo-Saxon wins. As he's just like, all right, I'm just gonna pretend I'm an. Oh wait, no. That was the Norman. Okay, my bad. The Norman wins. Because I was like, why isn't he attacking the other guys? The Normans are thinning. And I don't know how long this line can hold, but keep in mind, the balance of power is still even, guys. This is still anyone's game. My goodness. What a struggle. All right, so let's go back over to the other side because I'm really curious how this is playing out. We do have some troops shifting over to the other flank to deal with the massive routing going on the left flank of the Anglo-Saxons. What's left of the Anglo-Saxons is getting surrounded and crushed. Now, here's the concern. The concern here, and hey, you got to give some credit to the Anglo-Saxons still duking it out against the Normans. But the concern is once all these units are free to move, they're going to be able to flank around the other army. And it's obviously going to lead to a defeat. So the other Anglo-Saxon army is going to have to quickly defeat the Normans before this victorious Norman army shifts over and tries to flank them. So really, it's a race against the clock for the Anglo-Saxons. We got more infantry moving forward as well, trying to take control of this tree line here. They even got the season right too. Like, it looks like fall, which of course this battle took place in October. So that, like, they even got the atmosphere correct for this battle. That is awesome. That is really cool. More fighting is waging on. And, oh, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. The Anglo-Saxons are starting to waver on the other side of the battle as well. I'm sure news is spreading now that the king is dead. The king is dead. What are you fighting for at this point? I guess from invaders, but what can you do? For glory. Nice, look at this. I love watching the random duels. You can tell these men are mostly farmers. I'll just whack them with my axe. Yeah. Hey. I mean, this guy looks awesome. He looks well equipped, but the slow spear thrust is killing me. Farmers going at it. And still over here, this line is not engaged. And I think they've got to. Like, if I am playing as the Anglo-Saxons, I full-on attack here and use my extra unit that you got on the flank to go around and try to flank around the Normans, because this is a problem. And look at this. They formed a defensive like triangle or arrow, I guess, or spearhead that's holding off the Normans on the other side. Oh, look at this. It's like they crowded around this duel. They're like, fight, fight, fight. Look at that. That's awesome. They have crowded around, made space for an epic duel between two brave warriors who called each other out. Oh, hey, you're cheating. Cheating. It's a Norman spearman versus the Anglo... Or no, I'm sorry. It's the mailed thanes versus the Norman mailed spearmen. He's like, I don't want to fight anymore. Wait, what? Wait, what? Who's who? I can't tell. Honestly, I can't tell. This guy's the Norman. This guy's the Anglo-Saxon. Okay. I'm getting it all mixed up. They look so similar. More troops shifting around. They are holding, though. Ooh, excuse me. They are holding. They are doing the best they can. And there's still some Anglo-Saxons putting up a fight. Look at this. Like, we're not done yet. So we're less than 10 minutes left into this battle. It's still anyone's game, but the balance of power is starting to shift in favor of the Normans. And the numbers are vastly different as well. So it's going to be tough to tell, but look at this. The Normans are now, they've got all these units freed up to move. These are going to be flanking units. Come on, Anglos. Hold. Lots of breaking. Lots and lots of breaking. But hey, they're breaking some Normans over here. But oh, this is not good. We have Norman knights around the flank. Oof. Yeah, it's looking worse and worse for the Anglo-Saxons as this battle goes on. Oh, and it crashed. Son of a gun. Okay, well, I am reminded why I don't cover a lot of Thrones of Britannia. That is because the replays crash all the time. Even without mods, the replays crash so much. So it can be very frustrating, and it takes forever, especially if you're at the end of the battle, to get back to where you were. But we are back where we are, and finally this flank is fully engaged over on this side. But of course, the cav here over here, the Norman Knights, who have just really been a thorn in the side of the Anglo-Saxons all day today, are cleaning up the soldiers here. Oh my god, and it crashed again. Alright, let's try this again. So, I'm a little afraid to zoom in here because I feel like when I zoom in, that's when it crashes. But if we look just kind of in a bird's eye view, you can see the victorious Normans who defeated mostly, I mean, they're still fighting a little bit over here, but they have shifted over all of their forces. And look at this. This army here has split their forces in two. So you got this brave line, I called it a spearhead earlier, but they got this brave line of troops holding against all these Normans while the other half is still fighting their initial enemy army, which is crazy. Just crazy. He's doing a really good job. He's putting up a hell of a stand. Again, very nervous. Don't want to zoom in because that's, every time I do, it causes, oh, that's a, sorry. That's a little timer there. Every time I zoom in, it causes issues. So, yeah, I don't know. I think we're good now. I don't know what was going on in the replay, but here we go. Oh, boy. So, this is the last hope for the Anglo-Saxons. The balance of power is greatly in favor of the Saxons, but I've seen crazier things in Total War. They could definitely try to pull this off. Let's not forget they've got a flanking unit here sitting in... No! Alright guys, well unfortunately I just decided to get us to the end of the battle. If I didn't move the camera around too much, it didn't cause it to crash. But it was a Pyrrhic victory for the Normans, and it was pretty obvious what was going to happen. The Anglo-Saxons were losing this, and it was only a matter of time until they were, they were completely defeated. But we are going to be able to look at the stats, so that's why I wanted to make sure to show you that. That way we kind of have some sort of closure to this battle. So let's go ahead and end the replay and look at what we got going on here. So look at the kills right here. Oh my god. So Wessex actually had more troops than the Normans, but I guess the Norman quality of troops were better because they got so many more kills. So Cassius, the person who created this little scenario, and big thank you to all the players here, of course, he got the most kills, 4,335 kills. So let me just go ahead and click on all this so you can see the kills here of the different armies. So yeah guys, that's gonna wrap it up here for the Battle of Hastings. I hope you guys enjoyed this as much as I did. This was a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. So I'll see you guys next time on the battlefield.